Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived for the 7th week of the ARC GT3 challenge. It takes us to the Algarve Autodrome in Portugal for rounds 13 and 14. And we have just gotten qualifying underway. We're about to actually ride on board with Carter Ritchie. He's going to be the first driver to start a flying lap in this qualifying session. He got out of the pits very quickly. And that's the wrong button. Hang on. There we go. As he almost encounters traffic, and he's missed turn 1, possibly distracted by the incoming vehicles. I think that lap might be invalid. We'll just see what the track limit gods rule. I get it as invalidated by now, so he seems clear to continue. As he heads around the Algarve circuit. Now, normally this track's primary characteristic is the effect that it has on your tires, particularly tire temperatures. But this is a winter series, so the track temperatures are relatively manageable compared to if we were to race in, say, even mid-spring, where the track temperatures would probably be in the high, like the low 100s Fahrenheit. And hard tires would basically be mandatory, but that is not the case. Those are outlaps, do not be fooled. The 2018 is not on pace. We're looking at the 43s, I think, for probably a pole will be a low to mid minute 42 lap time, if I had to guess. We'll see how close Carter Ritchie gets to that mark as he heads out of the last turn to finish his first lap. .43.8 is the first real lap of the session, and that's with a majorly botched turn 1. He's probably already up by half a second right now. Luke Allen comes not far behind with a 44.78. Oh, can't save it. Around goes the Ferrari. Well, good thing he got that lap in when he did. And immediately AJ Knickel blows that right out of the water with a 42.4. Torres with a 40. Oh, Jurgensmeyer P2 with a 43.2. I expect the Mercs to be pretty fast today, as if I'm right, they're all running AJ's setup. Plus, this is the track that does favor some top speed heavy cars, so it has two decently long straightaways, but that front straightaway is going to be a huge factor, obviously. Jen Torres, the 44 flat. Matthew Stotts, 44.5. Excuse me. I go clear my throat. Matthew Daly with a 45.1. He's not up by a whole lot either, so he might break into the 44s with a second run, but it's hard to be sure. Joshua Bowditch for AAR, I believe, 45.5, and track limits galore. Something moved, two things moved. I believe. Wow. Fidel Fabian runs a 44.219, and right behind him on the racetrack, Billy Targi runs a 44.220. 1,000th separated those two cars in their qualifying lap. What the heck was that? That's an oddity if I ever saw one. Jake Scarborough is no longer allowed to compete on Jake Scarborough Racing. I don't really know how that works, but he's running as an AAR reserve, if I remember right, alongside Bowditch. Let's see what the McLaren does. A 45-1. Logan, man. Excuse me, Logan ran a 45 flat earlier. Joshua is off the wall. I'm not sure if that was. Or just moved. Connor Hannock with a 44-1. DIVEBOMB at some point ran a 43-1. There's a lot of ones. That was not a lap, okay. The two big stories of this event are probably mainly Joshua Bowditch qualifying and Kobe Luca also qualified, as we had a pre-qualifying race that knocked Setchel and Wade Lee out of the running. There's somebody behind Colby. I can hear that car. It sounds like a Merc. It was not. It was Jake Scarborough, I believe. No, it was his teammate, Joshua. Who nearly got claimed by an outside curb, just there. Yeah, they have fuel in Bowditch's car, 38 liters I think that says. I'm pretty far away from my TV, I can't read it. Interesting track limits. Haven't been many attempts made at that 42.4. Let's see if DIVEBOMB has anything to say about it here as he heads up to the start-finish. Oh, he does. He runs a 42.2, and AJ Knickel is in the pits, so AJ's not going to be our pole sitter. That was Dylan's final run, as he's not going to have enough fuel to make another run. Does Jurgensmeyer have any answers for that 42.20? At the line, nope, he is down a lot, but he does have time for another run. So we'll have to just wait and see on that. He is the last one, I believe, that will get a chance. Carter Ritchie heads up the hill to the front straightaway. Can the Acura pull off a miracle? Not far off one at 42.8, so he jumps Jurgensmeyer for the moment. Sean Cosley is making his way around. I think this might be his P-Cars 2 debut for this season. He raced AF1 last Friday. It was an off week this week. Or it was an off week last Friday, which is why there was no race, and therefore no stream. As the game decides to tell me 5 separate times that Josh has invalidated his lap time. I think I got it the first time, and Sean Cosley is lining off, so he's not trying to let this lap stand. Let's say you, man. There's somebody ahead of you. Who is that? It's Matthew Daly, and he's certainly in need of an improvement somewhere here, or else he starts 14th. He finds a small improvement, and he will start 13th. Oh boy. Matthew Stotts will jump the Bentley of Sean Cosley by 300ths. That's all it takes. Jen Torres did not improve their lap time. And I didn't see what Jurgensmeyer just did. Didn't improve. It slept. Yeah. Well. It did not sleep too well. I was woken up early by noise outside. So if you catch me yawning a few dozen times during this race, it's not the league race's fault. It's not the racing action. It's just because I am not incredibly awake at this moment. I get settled in my chair as we get set for the 8-lap sprint round. So DIVEBOMB takes the pole. I'm about to start calling him the Rocket Man, because he's probably got more poles than AJ this season, but he just hasn't been able to convert. AJ himself starts alongside him in P2. And then we have Carter Ritchie with a breakout qualifying performance, putting that Acura on the second row, alongside Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Then we have Matthew Stotts, Sean Cosley, Jen Torres, Connor Hannock, Fidel Fabian, Billy Targi, Luke Allen, Jake Scarborough, Logan Cool, Matthew Daly, who I think must have had a grid penalty for some reason, starts 14th. Joshua Bowditch, and last will be Colby Luca, I believe younger brother of former ARC driver Camden. I know he's his brother. I'm pretty sure he's younger. The lights are red and now they're green, and we are away from Algarve. And looks like it's a pretty tentative start, but Dylan will lead them into turn 1 pretty clearly. Matthew Stotts with another Renault launch finds himself running P2 ahead of the Merc of AJ Knickel. And Carter Ritchie's going to try the outside of AJ to try and take 4th himself. Or, no, 3rd. Now he has to defend 4th from Jan Torres. So he tries to sneak on the outside in that Bentley, but has a moment. Jurgensmeyer will fight his way back ahead of Jan Torres. Fidel Fabian and Logan Cool with good starts. Logan up to looking for P7 against Fidel Fabian. Forces the AMG a bit wide, however. But all in all, Logan Cool goes from 13th to 7th in half of a lap. So he's had a very powerful start in that Huracan. As definitely the biggest loser of this lap one is Luke Allen, as he is attempting to defend not last from Colby Luca here. I could just watched Fidel Fabian. That is the source of the tire smoke. He was miles off, and he rejoins in the worst way and clobbers the Huracan of Colby Luca, but that only really hurt himself, I think. As we focus back up to the lead pack. And everybody is kind of spaced out up here. It's really the middle pack all the way down where there's just a lot of action, but nobody's too wide into turn 1 here. Logan Cool finds a curb and nearly finds a DNF. But he manages to keep the car, on the circuit for the most part. Or well enough, at least, to not wreck. Everything is basically single file at the moment. as for the way out of Algarve itself, what was that name? Applebee's? Algarve. There are a handful of passing zones. Turn 1 is in theory, but it's very sketchy. You're better off just taking turn 1 in a way that'll give you a better exit and making the move into turn 3. Turn 5, the first actual hairpin, or the second hairpin at the end of the second straight, is also decent. And if you're really brave, the uphill right that heads us into the final section of turns can also work. Speaking of work, Matthew Stotts has gone to work and he has caught up to DIVEBOMB. If Dylan makes one of his disappointingly common mistakes, as I thought he was about to for a split second there, Matthew Stotts, I think he actually thought about sending it, but realized he didn't have enough turning for that. And Lamborghini has a small advantage in the straight line, which is the only thing keeping this Renault at bay at the moment. Jen Torres just tags the back of Logan Cool and throws himself off the circuit in panic, I guess. He'll lose a position to Billy Targi as a result. And Logan Cool will do the same and fall in line behind the 93. That might be the 43, actually. I'm going to like splash some water on my face in between rounds. I feel like death itself. That's a me issue. Am I going to have to commentate this race standing up? Is that what it's going to take for me to remain awake through the whole thing? Oh, that's awfully wide from Stotts. He has to let off, so that only gives further advantage to the Huracan as we head down the straight once more. .168, I think I just saw tick over at the braking zone. But he's not been able to keep it on the tarmac in turn 1. Stotts and or Knickel can... that's not Knickel. This is... may be able to use that to their advantage if they catch him lacking again. I have a theory. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna need something. Some sort of stimulation, because I just caught myself dozing off there. This is... I don't know what is wrong with me. What is wrong with Matthew Stotts' car? Oh, he's trying to... he's just letting... No, he's not letting AJ go, so he's defending from AJ in, like, slow motion. He will keep the Mercedes at bay for now. For now, keyword, or keywords. But now AJ Knickel has the inside lane heading down the hill, which is a clear advantage to the AMG. Stotts tried to survive, but he could not withstand the might of, well, basically just having the preferred racing line more than anything. Knickel goes wide once more. Well, AJ hasn't gone wide, but the car in front of Stotts always seems to miss turn 1. The top 5 have a huge margin over P6. As Carter Ritchie lets Jurgensmeyer pass. Joshua Bowditch leads the second group of cars. Scarborough looped it at turn 4. That's probably the most common place to spin the car, as Connor Hannock has also just found out, as he is off in the Sahara Desert exploring, looking for the Temple of Montezuma or something, I don't know. Oh my god! I started daydreaming there. Back to reality. I need like caffeine or something. There's no way. Apologize, it's hardly professional for the commentator to be falling asleep, but I can't put into words just how terribly I slept. AJ Knickel is catching his, I would say, title rival. The championship battle is not supremely close, even though we've only just passed the halfway mark of the championship. It's a 40-point lead to AJ Knickel, and Dylan has been somewhat inconsistent, so even if Dylan finishes here in this race, he may very well just lose it in turn 4 in the next one, and then everything he has done here will be effectively undone. As we turn over to 2 laps to go here at the Algarve sprint round. The field is so spread out, you would think it were the feature race. We got like little pairs of cars, kinda. Not even that. We just have Matthew Stotts, who's caught the lead to, and then Carter Ritchie can see the Juergensmeyer, but can't do much with him right now. God. Your mom humming upstairs. I'm thinking maybe time for the weekly Riker interruption coming up, so don't be surprised. If she could at least wait like 3 minutes and she'll be coming, or she'll be here in between rounds, but I somehow feel I'm not going to get that lucky because I never do. Dylan Baum is trying everything in his power to keep AJ Knickel at bay for just one more lap here from Algarve. And this is just the sprint round. Matthew Stotts not too far away and able to, in a position to capitalize if he's nearby and they make a mistake. And or run into each other, which I guess would probably constitute a mistake, would it not? But That's like the best benzene on the track exhausted for Kinnickle, so it's going to be an uphill battle to pass him from this point onward. Yeah, there's the last heavy braking zone of the circuit, if you'd even call that that. You're just gonna have to make a sudden dive, and he can't do that, so I think it's relatively safe to proclaim, unless AJ gets a massive run out of the last turn. DIVEBOMB will head down the hill, and he'll head back up the hill. He's breaking the toe. AJ is sort of there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. DIVEBOMB is going to win the sprint race over AJ Kinnickle. And then immediately yeet himself into non-existence. AJ Kinnickle and Matthew Stotts will finish off the podium runners. An ice skating Jurgensmeyer with P4. Carter Ritchie with a very quietly carried out P5. And on his season debut, Colby Luca is going to finish in 8th place, which will gain him the feature race pole. This is going to be terrifying. And that is a destroyed Lamborghini. AJ Kinnickle is running the alternate route of the track. And here comes Connor Hannick to close off the race. That took a while. So yeah, there you have our sprint round. DIVEBOMB, AJ Kinnickle, Matthew Stotts, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Carter Ritchie, Billy Targi. Solid run for FBR. Sean Cosley and Colby Luca are the 8 drivers who score here in the sprint, and the 8 drivers who will be flipped around on the grid going into the feature race. Excuse me now, I need some sort of something to wake me back up. So I'm going to use the time in between rounds here to try and do that so I don't fall asleep if the feature race is as processional as that was. I know it's hardly professional, but come on, man. Would you rather me take a 3-minute break to grab like a granola bar or something? Or would you rather me fall asleep on the microphone? I snore loudly. You don't want that. Alright, one granola bar later. On top of having terrible sleep, I got like 4 hours of sleep. I kept waking up. I was in bed for 7, 8. But you wouldn't think so, because I spent most of it lying awake wondering why I couldn't fall back to sleep. And then I finally do fall asleep, and I'm woken up by somebody using a power tool outside my window. And I also haven't eaten anything yet. So I only got hungry like in the middle of this lobby getting set up. So that was too late to do anything about it. And so I'm definitely on an energy low right now. As we're sitting here getting ready for the will be an 18-lap feature race. As we use the first lap here as a formation lap to get everybody in their correct order. And whoever is on that that PA announcement over there at the track on the front stretch is going absolutely bananas. No, right, my HUD elements. As I think most of the drivers are pretty much in the correct order, we should be picking up the pace speed at any minute. I don't think Colby has pit limiter maps. That'll be interesting later when he has to make his mandatory pit stop and he has to manually keep the car at 37 miles an hour or slower. Ugh. Yeah, we've picked up the speed to 60 and going over the feature race starting grid real quick. Colby Luca is the pole sitter, followed by Sean Cosley, Billy Targi, Carter Ritchie, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Matthew Stotts, AJ Knickel, and your sprint race winner DIVEBOMB will start in P8. Following that is Luke Allen, Joshua Bowditch, Logan Cool, Jake Scarborough, Jan Torres with a really uncharacteristic result. Fidel Fabian, Matthew Daly, and Connor Hannock. These 13th and 14th place cars are really not exactly where they should be normally. Be interested to see if they can salvage anything from this disaster so far. And Colby will control the race starting, I believe, anywhere between the apex of the last turn and the start-finish. Hopefully we don't emulate what F1 did here in real life and just have a huge stack up on the race start that wrecks like 7 vehicles, because that's always possible. And we are green as we crest the hill. I just saw that was Billy Targi aggressively changing lanes and doing more aggressive lane changing. He's going to go for the lead right here. And he's going to be on the outside, so I don't think he's going to get it. He's in fact going to be under pressure from his teammate. as Carter Ritchie tries the inside on his teammate, and he will have the second position over Billy Targi. So a huge race start there, as Chaos further back, DIVEBOMB, and 3 wide looks like it's going to be maybe for fourth. Is, oh boy, that's not the lane there, Billy Targi. They're 3 wide for... What is happening? They were 3 wide for second place. There's contact between AJ and I think that was Dylan. Or I think that was the 2 that had contact. The 2 FBR cars clear Colby Luca, and Carter Ritchie is making good on his escape plan already. Almost a 2-second lead over his teammate, and it is a 2-second lead over everybody else. That was a camera. There's some pretty looking replay cameras. There's madness in the back as Joshua Bowditch almost fails to allow Luke Allen to rejoin the circuit. Just thought Torres way out of whack back there as well. Luke Allen then shoves Bowditch off the circuit, and he goes out of control again. He's under threat from Jake Scarborough for that 10th position. Meanwhile, Jurgensmeyer got ahead of the Lamborghini, and he should have the straight line speed advantage, if only barely. Oh, we're going back trackside again, because this is going to be a mess going into turn 1. What's going to happen here? Trackside camera barely keeps up. Dylan's going to get ahead of Luca into turn 1. And I think he'll be able to use Jurgensmeyer's missed corner exit to snag a P3 as well. So Luca is, perhaps as anticipated, falling down the order very quickly. AJ Kunickel makes an ambitious maneuver down the inside, sticks that up to 5th. In the background, Fidel moves up to 11th over his actual team owner. Just saw that pop up on the feed down there. I still prefer chase cam. The trackside camera, they don't pan very well or very fast, so sometimes it struggles to keep up with the cars on the circuit. AJ with another opportunistic dive on Jurgensmeyer, and he makes that one stick, so he's now right up behind the person that just barely took him across the line, who himself is trying to size up a move on Billy Targi. He lets off early in the last corner, either trying to give Billy space or because we have a caution, as there's been a mess. Luke Allen is missing his rear bumper and he is way off the track. So something tells me that that is why we are under caution. Oh, brother. Good night. This probably makes life a little bit easier on everybody that's not Carter Ritchie, because that takes the guesswork out of the mandatory, as 3 laps will have been completed by the time we get our way around to the pit lane. And I get to drink more wake-up liquid. Which is actually just Mountain Dew. Not coffee. Caffeinated, not coffee. I was about to begin talking, but my lungs were just like, no, choke, die. And I barely got to the mute button before deafening the whole room with my coughing. So I would have to assume close to everybody should be pitting here. That's barely in bounds there. Oh, this will be interesting. Oh, gosh. As I'm thinking those two cars did not take... what were those? What? Okay, no, never mind. They were driving through their boxes. Never mind. Kobe Luca definitely did not change his tires, though. There's just simply no way. Sean Cosley emerges P2. Jury's on whether even he changed his tires. I think they kind of had to have. No, he didn't. He's going over there, so I don't think he had. Or he's having equipment failure, because his wheel is broken or something. Does he have a wheel? I don't remember what he uses. So suddenly the FBR cars are just now 6th and 10th. I don't really know why they all lost so many places on pit road. It's not like they had to put more fuel in, I don't think. I don't know why they wouldn't fill the tank. As Joshua Bowditch is still in the pits. So it seems that we've now determined what the cause of this yellow flag was, as apparently Luke Allen's car is still battered. I just don't think the damage repair is synced. And only now is Joshua coming out of the pit lane. So I do not think we'll be going green on this time. On this English record. We will not be going green this time, because the leaders are in the last 3 turns, and the last car they're waiting for is in turn 4. How much damage did that S650S have that the damage repair set him this far back? Do get caught up in a tornado? Do they even have tornadoes in Portugal? I don't even think they do. And Colby pits because he didn't change his tires when he wanted to, and it seems he's not the only one. They're just gonna wait. 4 drivers have pit back in again. That was redundant me. Dylan Baum, who I think put fuel in just now. Sean Cosley, Kobe Luca, and Jake Scarborough pit. Jake will emerge first, which either tells me that the game still didn't change his tires, or that he just is the only one that didn't put any fuel in the car, or something. Maybe his pit crew's just built different. But I knew that Colby didn't get new tires, and I was fairly certain that Evids didn't either, as Bowditch just barely does not... Oh, I think he was ahead of Dylan, but he gives Dylan the position on track regardless. Probably not wanting to be in his way because he knows that Dylan is a car that has shown enough pace to probably win the race. So, since he won the sprint, it's kind of safe to bet. I can't lie, I'm not exactly sure what that was about. Where did Bowditch pass Jake and Dylan? I don't know. Oh, it's because the pitting cars go to the end of the line, that's why. And Joshua didn't pit. So it'll be on AJ and Nickel to control the race start, assuming that we're not waiting for evens, which I think we will be, so we're not going to be able to go green this lap either. It seems Sean Cosley had damage of his own to fix. Yes, damage. I can't stop coughing all of a sudden. Couldn't tell you why. Yeah, we go another lap. No, we don't. Alright, we're green from Algarve. Ah! Caught me off guard, much less the other cars. I thought we were going another lap because Evans wasn't here, but Evans is basically here anyway. So now Carter Ritchie's in P3. Now it makes a little more sense how that happened. Stott's got forced way wide back there. Fidel got a terrible run through 4. I think he had to catch the car. Hennick's not able to take advantage though. As Matthew Daly goes up 2 places in just a matter of minutes or moments even. And we're under another yellow flag for whatever reason, because everybody's still here. Gosh darn it. I'm already struggling to reach. Cause you put. I'm already struggling here. Alright, we don't need 7 caution laps to make the race longer. They're just making things worse on me. And pit cycles, 1 car pits. It is DIVEBOMB again. And also 3 others. Luke Allen gets caught up in another one, as well as Jake Scarborough and Billy Targi. As on top of everything else, Billy also picks up a time penalty for exiting the pit lane, because, you know, running in last place wasn't already bad enough. Now he also gets a penalty for his troubles. Alright, hopefully for reals this time, we are a handful of corners away from going back to green flag running here at Algarve. I almost said Portugal. I mean, I guess that wouldn't have been wrong, but this is not F1. We call it Algarve. It's not the Portuguese Grand Prix, it's the Algarve GT Grand Prix. And I wasn't even looking. I was staring out the window and I didn't even notice we were green again. God, I am a space case. Yeah, we were green again from Algarve, and I saw Carter Ritchie there tries to sneak a peek at Jurgensmeyer, but he ain't close enough for that. Sean Cosley and Logan Poole were going at it for a half second. The difference in the exit speed that they had was about the only reason that was happening at all. As Luca is in last place. Remember, he was our pole sitter. Well, because of the reverse grid, but nonetheless. Still pole. Even if the stat books won't say it as such. DIVEBOMB is not where I expected him to be, as he is having some major car issues. As we literally watch him get random oversteer and have to literally pull a U-turn to avoid collecting anybody else in his car's incompetence. God. We're under another yellow flag? This has been pathetic. I zoned out again, by the way. I don't... At this point, this is a commentary-free broadcast. Like... Is it Dylan? Something tells me, based on the fact that he's back here, it was in fact Dylan. Yeah, we are not green. I don't think they're waiting for that. Now we're on the pit limiter. They're trying to wait. That camera is nowhere near them. Okay, we're going back to chase cam. Screw it. That's why I don't like the trackside camera. And we're pitting again. I'm gonna fall asleep over here. It's like watching the Monaco Grand Prix. Or NASCAR at a mile and a half. Like, there's no compounds to talk about, there's no penalties to go over, except for, like, the three that people have. One of which is probably just a Boosh pit lane violation. The other two are probably just, like, 1 or 2 second penalties that might not even matter unless we have another caution, which, let's be fair, it's probably more likely than any of us would care to admit. They can't, like, discuss the compounds, they can't, like, discuss the implications of where a driver is running, because it's like there's just nothing. Where are they going? We're back up to racing speeds, so we should be green as we reach the front straightaway. Is the trackside camera looking at us? Yes, it is. Am I finally going to have something to commentate, or are we going to have another lap 1 incident, or another restart incident, I should say, and find yourselves back under yellow flag conditions? At this rate, I'm willing to say probably, because this has been ugly. And we are green from Algarve. The camera is not getting with the program. There we go. Tarji is making his restart from the pit lane. Due to, well, having to pit when the pits were closed. I'm not exactly sure why that is that he has done that, but he obviously has to have had some reason. DIVEBOMB just tosses it around the outside. His teammate Logan playing defense, trying to keep cars at bay. And the game is giving him illegal overtakes as he went off the circuit to stick that. I was kind of like, that didn't really look right. And I was right, it wasn't. I have these thoughts. There's another driver who's had a bit of an off day today. We got a battle too wide for P2. I saw that shift around the leaderboard. Thank goodness I did. Jurgensmeyer defending as the 93 of Carter Ritchie pulls a crossover maneuver. But it gets him ultimately nowhere, as the AMG has too much horsepower for the Acura to handle. A good run from the last turn, which he's not getting. He's understeering horrifically. And we're under caution again. Oh my god, guys! It was fine in the sprint. What in the name of God happened? Jake Scarborough's car looks like it just went through a can opener. DIVEBOMB's caught up again. Oh boy, this race is never gonna be over. Yeah, Joshua's car is wounded. He's got a pit for what I can only assume to be suspension damage. Luke Allen again. DIVEBOMB trying to overtake Joshua in the pit lane. And the way that he kind of cut him off on the way in, it almost looked like he was trying to send a message. So I'm thinking I might know what the root cause of that was. Just a hunch. You can't do that, Scarborough. Well, too late now. I just read AJ's concerned message in the chat. Yeah, I'm staying awake. I don't know how, but I am. Well, I think I actually registered sleep during one of these caution flags because now I actually feel relatively awake. I just took like the ultimate power nap and now my brain is just like, alright, let's work, maybe. Maybe I'm just coping, who knows. It's hard to tell at this point. I think that pretty much symbolizes this race pretty well. The fact that the race leader had the time under caution to stop their car and message the Discord server to ask the commentator if they're staying awake. It's the most symbolic thing I think I've ever seen in an That's hilarious. That speaks incredible volumes of the way that this race has panned out so far. And we still got, well, we're gonna have 5 laps to go at the when the green flag flies. It might feel like 12, depending if we get another caution, but we can only have one more from here before we reach the threshold of there being no more cautions. If we can survive one more lap, we'll be green to the end, I think. But honestly, the way that this race has gone, I am not holding my breath. Once again, prepare the trackside camera for the restart, which might get us down to turn 5. It's hard to be sure. And green flag once again from Algarve, and it was not the greatest. It was a pretty good restart from the following cars. They didn't really get that far away. Perhaps he's become predictable with his restart timings. They've had about enough chances to figure out when those timings are, since he's made 5 restarts now or something. Saw somebody get loose. This can't see what's going on. Jen Torres, huge aggression under braking, but he grabs the spot over Fidel Fabian. These two are too wide once more as we head up the hill towards turn 8. One of the most annoying corners in the F1 games, but here, oh, Carter Ritchie with a little bit of elbows out driving. He's not clear, but this isn't Heat 5, so he's able to survive that little contact. Fidel Fabian gets back ahead of Sean Cosley. Nope, Jan Torres, not John. It's actually a battle between Sean and Jan. 2 Bentley cars. I don't remember if they're teammates or not. I believe they might be. I'm keeping my eye. Yep, I'm Mr. Krebs. I'm keeping my eye back here. I want to actually catch one of these wrecks on screen. Even if just one. Oh, that looks promising up there. Dylan bombs 172 into turn 1. What in the heck? Everybody misses turn 1, but Dylan, it seems like, he moves into P7. He's looking for P6 on Matthew Stotts. He's forcing his car into a gap that was closing. It hardly even matters. Matthew Stotts tries to catch the car and inadvertently blocks Dylan, and he still doesn't care. Gridlock ahead as multiple cars trying to make up places into turn 5. I think we just watched Jan Torres complete one on Fidel Fabian, but he's going to fight that back on the inside, and we'll watch this from the Lamborghini's POV. Fastest Sector 1, I'm not really that surprised by that fact. Up the inside of Dan... oh no. Oh, and there it goes. That contact was enough to send the wing flying, and Dylan Bomb will have been demoted to probably last following that. Oh yeah, just backpedal off the track. There's no more cautions that can save you, I don't think. I think we've passed the threshold, plus it's a single car incident. Adrian just has a quiet little Sunday drive up here. As Carter Ritchie is just surrounded by Mercedes. I did say they were going to be fast today, did I not? And sure enough, I said that in qualifying, and here they are running 1-2-4 in the race. Sorry, 1-2-4-5 even. I forgot that Matthew Daly was here. He had an abysmal qualifying, but he's able to turn it into something worthwhile here in the feature race. Lap 17, I know for a fact that means we have no more cautions, so we're actually going to get some modicum of racing action as we head towards the checkers. and here it is, Billy Targi versus Logan Cool. This is a battle for P7 on track. And Logan is a bit defensive into the hairpin. Suddenly in comes Connor Hannick into the picture. And Billy trying to get his elbows out to squeeze the 488 down the track. The 488 is there though. Billy now has to live with that Ferrari being there, but he washes up on exit, allowing forcing Hannick to just concede. He's also getting a blue flag. That doesn't make any sense. What? Unless that was a long time ago. That doesn't make sense, because Dylan just retired. I don't know why he got a blue flag. Okay, Project Cars, whatever you say, old man. Logan's wide there, but he's going to turn it into a late exit. He couldn't reach for that cough. Alright, you 4, 5, make this worth the price of admission, why don't we? As everyone is just spreading out like butter as they head down the front straightaway. Looks like Logan's gonna hang on. Connor Hannick is gonna literally push Billy ahead of Sean Cosley, and it's still not gonna work. Sean's gonna grab P8 in the conflict. Joshua Bowditch with no rear bumper is fighting off Colby Luca and his, I believe, reserve teammate of Scarborough. Jake's gonna get into P12. Bowditch is massively loose, probably because he's missing that rear bumper. Billy Targi is being absolutely used and abused right now by the two Ferraris. Eva's finding a way ahead of the the world's widest Lamborghini Huracan. As we are heading up to 1 lap to go here in the near future, AJ is in the final sector at the very least. Causey tried to sneak up to the outside of the Huracan, couldn't do much with that though. The top few cars are pretty spread out, so there's no real reason to look up there. The only place worth spectating is this battle, as Logan Cool flexes his defensive driving. Sean Cosley is all over the place on the exit there. Oh my god, curbs! Somebody else is retired, it is Jan Torres. Somehow we're both alive and kicking as we head down the front straightaway. Is Luke Allen here? Yes, he's right there behind them. Billy's not so much. Connor Hannick got spun somewhere. Logan Cool has been pressurized. Allen with a huge send. Now he's going to try for P7 instead. But the outside of turn 4 is a harsh place. He kind of made it stick though, as the loudest V10 rings in our ears. They make contact ahead. Is this 3 wide? Logan down the inside of the pair of them. Does he get that stopped? Not really. But a remarkable effort just to even try that. Try that. What? That. So there's other letters there. Even just wide. I don't know if the game is going to let him get away with this one. He got away with it in pre-qualifying. He got away with a line. He's got some grass in his tires now. Or sand, rather. Logan's right up to the back of Luke Allen. But this is the last braking zone, and he's not very that close. And it's another AJ Knickel W as he heads out of the last turn at Algarve. Despite all of the cautions, it still felt like he never really had much of a test. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and Carter Ritchie will join him on the podium. Carter Ritchie with a very quiet but effective weekend. Fidel P4 on track, Matthew Daly 5th. Logan Cool had no answer for the 488 at the last minute, and there has been murder. And AJ Knickel's just sprinting around the place. There we go. Much quicker race end this time. So there has been the Algarve weekend here. If the rest of the race were like those last 3 laps, it would have been a race to remember, but instead, it's a race where the commentator nearly fell asleep because we spent most of it under caution because the back 5 cars on the racetrack didn't seem to remember how to use a steering wheel. But that is going to conclude matters from the ARC GT3 Challenge. I believe we should be back Friday with the start of the AF1 season. I can only assume from Bahrain. Critical retirements for both Dylan Baum and Jan Torres. That is I don't think it's going to lock up the championship for AJ Knickel, but the way that things have trended so far, that's going to put a pretty big tax on Dylan Baum's hopes of keeping up. But that is it for today, so I'm going to go attempt to not fall asleep the rest of the day, maybe put some food in my stomach, and get on with my life. Why were there so many penalties down here? What in the name of God? I don't even want to know. Goodbye.